This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of CWK Live, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm your host, Dan Zehr, delighted to talk Star Wars with each and every one of you. Let's bring in our friends. We've got Brian. This is the Tuesday you are looking for. Brian, so nice to see you back on the show. Welcome, my friend. Mary is here. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is safe and warm. Hello, Mary. Yes, it is insanely cold here in Illinois, as well as many other places in the country. So hope everybody's staying safe and warm. There's plenty of warm blankets and warm soup and hot cocoa and all that, because it is no joke, that is for sure. Hey, Liberty is here. Hello, Liberty. Great to have you on the show. Adam is here. Hello there from Hoth. Burr, it's cold. Yes, my friend, it is freezing cold. How's the weather on Hoth? Or at least that's what it feels like the past few days. I know. And not a tauntaun belly in sight for me to curl up inside. But that's okay. We've got fun. We've got a fun show for you today. We're going to look at your top 5 Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones quotes. That'll be a fun one. It's not my favorite of the prequels, but it's the one I probably watched the most. I've said this a couple of times, so I'm looking forward to revisiting that, as well as we are also going to continue our Aurebesh lessons, and I've got some a fun guest, hopefully if they can make it tonight as well. Darren agrees. Yes, it is cold. Hello, Darren. Father Jimmy is here from the snowy DC suburbs. Yes, snowy in Illinois as well. Now, let's take a look at what is brewing in the world of Star Wars this week. All right, so there's a lot of fun stuff. We've got Ahsoka Season 2. Now, we knew, based on the press release last week with the news of the Mandalorian and Grogu film, there was going to be Ahsoka Season 2. But we got some artwork, pretty much right after we did the live show. So I had to put it up here as big news, because it is big news. This is a piece of art that Dave Filoni created and posted, and it was all over Star Wars social media, and of course all over fan sites like coffeewithkenobi.com, for example. Ahsoka Season 2 is in development, so that is huge news. And more locally, I'm going to be live on Saturday, January 20th, which is this Saturday, at Steam Into Star Wars. This is the 8th time we've done this event at the high school where I work, and Tom Gross works. And I will be there doing the live show from 1 o'clock to 1:40 p.m. That is also Central Time. And if you need, and I'll be signing books. If you see me and you don't have a book signed, just come on up and I'll have Sharpies and I'll be happy to sign books for you. We won't have any for purchase, unfortunately, for this one. So be sure to bring one if you have one that you want me to sign. And the entire experience is absolutely amazing. We're going to have the Album Cockpit podcast with Ross Holloway, Roll Bass Card podcast with Greg McLaughlin. It really is like a small mini con. There'll be amazing prizes, a lot of great games. It's family friendly. A lot of local vendors. I mean, it's a terrific time. Lunch and coffee will be available. Lots of good stuff. Liberty says, enjoying rewatches of these movies as we go. Good. Refreshes your mind on all of the quotes themselves. And Jason is here. Hello, Jason. Great to see you, buddy. Wow, we got a nice packed house to celebrate. I'm waiting for the guest to show up, so I'm going to try to stall a little bit more while I wait for our esteemed guest to show up. Although news-wise, there really isn't any other news. I don't really have any new merchandise for you to talk about. So why don't we jump into our Aurebesh lessons? I wish I had Paul Schaefer doing like, hey, we've got Aurebesh. So I don't know about you, but I continue to struggle with E, F, and G. And I think it's because I've practiced them the least. I know I said that before, but I really think that's the reason. But again, you got your notepad. You can start practicing. Letter K is super easy. Letter K, see? There you go. The letter A is super easy because, as you can see on the screen, it looks just like AK. Let's see. Yes, my guest just texted me and said, "Can I hop on now?" And I say, "Yes, you may hop on now." We may come back. We're going to come back to Aurebesh lessons to bring in our guest. Father wants to know, how can someone support Steam into Star Wars? That is a great question. So that is a good opportunity for me to bring in our guest once he shows up. My guest, you are probably very familiar with. He is the co-host of Teachers in the Dungeon. Many moons ago, he was the CWK newsman when that was a news segment, but that is transitioned part of CWK Live. He's a great friend of mine. He has been on the show several times. And as I like to say, he is cute as a button. Let's bring in Mr. Tom Gross. There he is. Hello,
hey.
Tom. What's up,
Hello.
buddy? Nice hat.
Thank you.
Yes, Mary says hello, Tom.
Well, hello, Mary. Long time no see.
Yes, that's right. Well, Father Jimmy, before you jump into it, I just introduced you. Liberty says hi as well.
Oh, hello.
Father Jimmy wants to know, how can Father Jimmy's from is in the Washington D.C. area. He wants to know, how can someone who's not in this area support Steam into Star Wars?
Oh, now that's a question I haven't received before.
Yes, Terry also says hello. I don't know.
Hi,
can
Terry.
You see the comments when they pop up?
I can.
Good.
I can.
Good.
Yeah. Let me think on that. I mean, just the love I feel through doing something like this and having everyone, out there. Jason,
that's good.
Indeed.
Jason says, glad that the goblins let you out of the dungeon to join tonight. Yes. Well, what I explained was what was going on at Steam into Star Wars when I'll be doing the live show, the other podcast, but kind of give us information about this thing that's become, as Greg says on the Marvel base card, almost like a miniature con, but it's for a really, really good cause, promoting education, community, and of course, through the lens of Star Wars.
Yeah, well, Dane, you've been along the ride with me the entire time that we've done this. It started out as Star Wars Reads Day to promote literacy and reading. And then a few years ago, I guess in 2020, we switched it over to Steam into Star Wars to include much more aspects of education, from science and technology, engineering, arts, math. We still push the reading and writing in there as well to make it, to me, a fully educational type of, I guess, as you mentioned, mini convention. And so we have all sorts of things that are fun, that make all of that stuff look like a whole bunch of fun, because it is. And then we wrap it all around the theme of Star Wars, because, I mean, who doesn't love Star Wars, right? At least in this group, for sure. But I think there's tons and tons of people that, even if you aren't a massive fan like us, people know what Star Wars is. They know what to expect. And I don't know too many people who have a negative perception of Star Wars, especially anyone from our generation down to kids. And so that's what we wrap this whole thing around.
It's very atmospheric, because like I said, it feels like a miniature con, but that's because we've got games, we've got prizes, we've got a lot of live podcasts, we've got some great panels with authors to give tips, because this is to facilitate education. There's a lot of hands-on activities for kids of all ages. For the first time, you're offering lunches, and we've got actual coffee. You can actually have coffee with Kenobi at the event. How exciting! It's in like 9:30 to 2:30 are the hours Central Time, but there's so much going on. I mean, time will fly by, and there's so many people to talk with, and it's also like an open house too.
Yeah, I'm looking at the program. So when you come in, you'll get several things handed to you. You'll get the program of the entire show that I'll kind of go over here in just a moment. But you'll also get a ticket for a grand prize, which is an Ahsoka pack that you do not have to be present to win, but you have to be at there at some point to enter it into. But you don't have to stick around to the very end to win that. But it's an Ahsoka pack with amazing Ahsoka items, like the headband that is the Mickey Mouse ears, but it's the Ahsoka. And then there's some Black Series figures in there. There's a ship in there. All sorts of really, really cool things in that package. And then you'll get some game tickets that you get punched as you play games. Adults can play the games, little kids can play the games, everyone of all ages. And you earn tickets that you bring back to the prize table, and then you can put into the buckets of the prize that you want to win. We do prize drawings on the hour every hour up until 1:40 is when we give away. And actually, we'll do it on the Coffee with Kenobi podcast recording. We will give away the grand prize, which is the Ahsoka pack. So Dan mentioned we have on our podcast stage, we have several podcasts going throughout the day. We have the Rebel Base Card podcast with Greg McLaughlin. Then we have a former student at WCHS who is now a comedian, and that is Will Crouch, and he's going to do a Star Wars stand-up bit, as well as the Hyperion Hub podcast with John Alois, Sean Degenhart, and John Redling Schaefer, the great Disney podcast, the Hyperion Hub. Then our friend Ross Hollowbin is going to do an abbreviated version of his show, the Album Cockpit Podcast, analyzing 3 different Star Wars songs. And then, of course, Coffee with Kenobi. And then my favorite part that we're finishing up with Dan on the podcast stage is at 1:50. We're going to finish the show with a Star Wars dance party. And Ross is going to DJ that for us. And then, and you mentioned the...
There's your DJ air horn for Ross.
Yes, thank you so much. Love the air horn. You mentioned the Academy, the Jedi Academy panels with the content creators. You guys will be up there at 10:35, as well as the authors panel. We have a host of local authors, including you, Dan, that will be there. And we have a WCHS graduate, Olivia Bennett, who will be there among other local authors. And they will do an authors panel to answer questions about writing and all of that kind of thing. Oh my gosh. A video of the dance party. Wouldn't that be a ton of fun?
Liberty and Mary both want videos of the dance party. Well, that's
yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we probably can make that happen. I would say. But it's fun because we have something for everybody. We've got the academies for anybody. But then we have Padawan story time where we have some local school librarians and one of our public librarians will be there. We've got a couple of students that are going to read to kids during that time. We have crafts most of the day, from activity packets to we have a BB-8 puppet and a Rey and Luke Skywalker puppet and then of course the very famous balloon lightsabers that we pull out at the very end because you got a lot of those waving around at the end of the show. I'm just imagining the dance party with about 30 balloon lightsabers. But you mentioned this year we did extend the hours because I feel like so many people are so busy on Saturday mornings that I thought, I wonder if we could capture and bring more people and get more people involved if we have that afternoon, those afternoon hours. And so we're bringing that. And then something else that's brand new this year is we are doing game demonstrations. We have our local game store, Zeke's Comics and Games, that will be running Star Wars Legion and showing demonstrations on the hour. And then we have an organization called Gamers for Good that are coming in, and they are going to do some demonstrations of different Star Wars games and space-themed games, and they'll be doing demonstrations throughout the day as well. So lots and lots of fun stuff going on, and we're just so excited for this show this year because of the length of it, because of all the awesome guests that we have coming in. And the thing I didn't mention is also with the vendor group is we have our local artists. We have Cameron Johnson, who is a WCHS grad, but also is releasing, either just released or will be releasing in the next week, a cover of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book, as well as issue number 1 of Thundercats comic book. And so he's going to be there. We're super excited to have him, but we also have a few other local artists that will be there as well for kids and adults to talk to and share stories with. It's so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be great to spend time with everybody. And we know that it's hard for people who are not in this immediate area to be there. But other people like Terry and Brian had told me they're looking forward to maybe trying to do it next year too. We've been, like you said, we've been doing it for 8 years. I would assume and hope that the force is with us, that we get a nice turnout and that the people ask for more STEAM in the Star Wars, because what is STEAM in the Star Wars? What does the STEAM actually stand for those who don't know?
Sure. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so we've got all of those items in there. And a couple I didn't mention is we have our high school's robotics team that they've supported us over the last several years, and they will be there. And I know you guys are doing Aurebesh practice on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to let you know that we have a student at our school that is pretty fluent in Aurebesh. And so he is going to have a booth that you can come up, put your name on a Post-it note, and he will write it. We've got cardstock plates that he will write your name in Aurebesh. And then I've got a few other students that will do a nice marker job to really make it look nice, and you get to take that home at the end of the day. So,
that's fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I know that is. He's going to love that. Well, Tom, thank you so much. If everybody is curious about it, there's a post on coffeewithkenobi.com that will take you to the WCHS webpage, give you all the information you need to know. There's also a place where you can pre-register. You don't have to, but does put you a bit ahead as far as winning prizes and doing a lot of other cool things too.
Yeah, that's right. So, and thanks to Greg McLaughlin of the Rebel Base Card Podcast for making the badges. I wish I had a badge here with me, because last year and this year he has made original badges for this event. And we have different badges, whether you're a Padawan or a Galactic Citizen, or Dan, you will be a Jedi Archivist. You have a Jedi Archivist badge and different types of badges. So hats off to him for his awesome work at doing that. And if you pre-register, that's how you get one of those badges.
Exactly. Well, I am looking forward to it. Yeah, of course, buddy. Thank you for coming by and sharing with us. Tom Gross, everybody. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Have a great show.
All right. Well, thank you to Tom for doing that. That was a blast. We're now back at let me get rid of my, we've got our letter A again. The badges are fun. Mine has Hugh Yang on it, so I'm very excited about that, of course. Of course. These are all messed up. I got to fix them. Okay. A little bit of live editing. Mary is clapping for it. Yeah, let's hear another round of applause for Tom. It was nice of him to stop by. All right, so Steam in the Star Wars, you can check that out on coffeewithkenobi.com for all the information. So here's the letter B. Again, these again just quick refreshers of things. You remember the C. That I think, again, to me, A, B, and C are the easiest. You have to let me know which ones you are having the most of an easy time with. You got the letter D, which is that 7 with the little line in the middle, but does not go all the way across the diagonal. And then we get into the E, and this is one I feel like I should remember because it's just a V with an I attached to it, basically, and they're connected together. So that is an E. And again, I say this every week, but it helps while you're writing it and thinking about it. It helps to say it sort of out loud, because when you look at like the letter A in Aurebesh, for example, your mind naturally goes to K because it looks like a K. But because this is a different kind of a symbol, because that's what language is a series of symbols, that's how you can remember it. So there's your E. There's the F. Again, practice makes perfect. I still think that E, F, and G are the most tricky because they're the hardest to look nice just sketching by hand if you're not an artist like me. I think that's my my dopey opinion on that. And then G, which I said last week, looks kind of like an 8-bit sandcrawler, and I think I forever tainted Liberty's image of sandcrawlers because of that. But whenever you see sandcrawler, you'll think of the letter G, hopefully. So now we're on to the next one, the letter H. Letter H, I feel like is going to be easier because that C. It's similar to that, but you're turning it a different direction. So an H is just 3 lines. The top line and the bottom line are the exact same length. They are horizontal on top, on top of one another, and there's a small dash in the middle, and that is an H. So H is not too hard, I think, to remember because just 3 lines, a line across the top, a line across the bottom. They're the exact same size as one another, and they're parallel to each other and horizontal. And then there's a middle line in the middle. Or like a B without the ends. Exactly. Without that kind of the little down parts that make it look like a burger. But they also seem a little bit bigger too. I don't know. Hey, there's not one size fits all. If there's a certain thing you can tell yourself that helps you, then that is a really, really good sign. So there is your homework. We are over a third of the way through this entire thing, which is exciting. I hope it is helping you. I hope that you are practicing. And I will be the first to admit I've got to practice more too. Again, while you're sitting there doodling, you can doodle while you're watching TV. When anything, don't do it while you're driving. That's not safe. But do it when you're in a safe space, and you can just practice and sketch them out. I got this at Galaxy's Edge. It was before Galaxy's Edge opened. There was like a media thing I went to, and it had a card, and on the back of the card, it had the entire alphabet. So I refer to that sometimes too. It's very, very helpful, but it's the accurate representation of Aurebesh. Terry says he needs to practice more too. Yes, I think we all do. And I appreciate your honesty. Mr. Fudge thinks it looks like an H on its side. It kind of does. Like there's an H and it got knocked over, sort of, but also not because of the way it doesn't have the middle. But I know exactly what you mean, Mr. Fudge. I am with you, my friend. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our top 5. Our top 5, as we said at the top of the show, is your top 5 Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones moments. So this is a movie that I think is fun to look at because it's very quotable. And I know there's one quote that's going to come up all the time, and I hope it doesn't, but it's going to, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. But we're going to look at Attack of the Clones. It's fun to revisit these movies like this anyway. So first, that was wrong. What's that about? That was from last week. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. This was supposed to be a blank screen. Oh, well. I'm going to go to number 5. Number 5 for me, the term aggressive negotiations is used a lot in this movie. It's negotiations with a lightsaber. That's aggressive negotiations. Padme brings it up at the end when they're in that arena on Geonosis, easy for me to say. So I'm kind of combining it. There could easily be an ellipsis before and after aggressive and after negotiations. But just anytime aggressive negotiations are said, it's a repeat joke. I think it's pretty fun. So that is my number 5. Number 5 for Darren, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. I'm nodding my head. That doesn't help on a podcast. Yes, I like that one too, Darren. That is a fun one. We also have Adam, number 5. Truly wonderful the mind of a child is by Master Yoda. And of course, Darren's is from Jango Fett, if I didn't say that. Terry's 5. Why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me? Obi-Wan Kenobi says it ironically to Anakin Skywalker. Mary brings it up as well. Says, Obi-Wan to Anakin, why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me? And we know, of course, how that's going to work out, don't we? Very much so. Pretty clever, pretty ironic, and pretty fun. Number 5 for Jason. Lost himself a planet, Master Obi-Wan has. Yoda says that, and Jason says, I love Yoda's humor. Yoda is hilarious. Brian, number 5. This weapon is your life, Obi-Wan Kenobi says that. And I get that. Number 5, Father Jimmy brings up one I completely forgot. It's Mace Windu. This party's over. Yes. In his most Sam Jackson mannerisms. Liberty's 5. I think you, Jedi, would have more respect for the differences between knowledge and wisdom. It's extra gesture. That, I forgot about that quote as too, Liberty. That is a very good one. And it's also really philosophical. I can just picture George thinking about that because he's a very deep thinker. I could picture him thinking of that while he's writing it. Burnt Waffles, number 5. Compassion, which I would define as unconditional love, is central to a Jedi's life. So you might say we are encouraged to love Anakin Skywalker. I was wondering if that was going to come up. That is one I think that is pretty notable as well. Let's go into number 4. Number 4, impossible to see the future is. Obviously, I don't need to tell you because of the way that is phrased. That is from Yoda. And this comes up a lot in Star Wars, but the future is always in motion. The Jedi are very reluctant to define something very much as, well, I don't know. It's kind of philosophical, isn't it? But is it destiny? Is it free will? Can you predict the future? There's a lot. There's a lot of future Coffee with Kenobi conversations about it. Either way, impossible to see the future is correct from Yoda because things are always in motion, and you still have a chance to. It's never too late to do the right thing, to make the right choice. I'm sure that's part of what Yoda's thinking. Number 4 for Mary, truly wonderful. The mind of a child is, from, of course, Master Yoda, as we just said. You have to bear with me while I straighten these out. They got all messed up, so I'm going to fix them. Meaning when your comments, if you're not watching the show live, then you might not know what I'm talking about, but I read people's comments when they share them so I can post it on the video itself, which is fun. Darren has a classic one, Begun, the Clone War has. That's number 4. Iconic. Adam's 4 were keepers of the peace, not soldiers. That is from Mace Windu, the second Mace Windu quote. Brian's 4, Master Yoda, do you think it will really come to war? And that's, of course, Palpatine. And Yoda says, the dark side clouds everything, which it does. On purpose, in fact. Terry's number 4, truly wonderful. The mind of a child is another great one that we've heard and it is awesome. Liberty's number 4, Begun, the Clone War has, from Yoda. Mr. Fudge, truly wonderful. The mind of a child is. This is a popular one. I should be keeping track of some of these. Jason's, when Anakin screams, I hate them, his destruction of the Tusken camp and subsequent breakdown tantrums shows how dangerous attachment can be for Jedi and those around them. We see the anger leads to hate progression unfold in this scene. Yes, we do. He also says, weird choice, I know, but it stood out to me as I rewatch it, and I don't know that I noticed it before. No, I don't think it's a weird choice. I think it's a powerful one because it just shows like there's a lot of passion in that anger, and it's frightening. It's legitimately frightening, and we know what it leads to. Father Jimmy's number 4, she can't do that. Shoot her or something. The delivery of this line always makes me chuckle. This is, of course, the Nemodians when Padme is trying to escape. Burnt Waffles number 4, I promise you I will even learn to stop people from dying. Anakin saying that, we know that it's going to be a huge thing that motivates him to the detriment of the Jedi and the galaxy. Number 3. Begun, the Clone War has. A lot of people have mentioned it, so I won't say too much more about it, but when I think of Attack of the Clones, that's one of the first things that pops to my mind because we know that's an iconic, it was just a nice throwaway line in A New Hope. A little did we know it would lead to some of the best stories in the history of fiction. And so to see where it starts from in the story itself is pretty neat. Pretty cool. Okay, Mary's 3, Anakin's. Oh no, not again. Obi-Wan is going to kill me. Probably not the last time or first time Anakin has said that. Adam's number 3, mentors have a way of seeing more of our faults than we would like. It's the only way we grow. That is from Padme. That is a great quote, Adam, that has not come up yet, so thank you for sharing that one. Whoops. What else do we have? Darren's. Darren says, as the same one, mentors have a way of seeing more of our faults than we would like. It's the only way that we grow. Thank you, Darren, for sharing that one. Terry's 3, it's the exact same one. 3 in a row. 1, 2, 3 in a row. The exact same one from Adam, Darren, and Terry. Excellent. Those are talk about great minds thinking alike. Love it. Liberty's number 3, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. Now, when I looked at this again, I had to keep telling myself, that's not Boba Fett, it's Django. Even though it is, but it isn't. It's the same actor. You understand the kind of loop paradigm I'm going through here. Pretty cool that they kept Temuera Morrison around for all this. Brian 3, why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Number 2 for Jason. We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers. And he adds, in my opinion, this is a major factor leading to the Jedi's downfall. They ended up becoming soldiers and lost their way. Yeah, everything they said they didn't want to do, they jumped right into it. Mr. Fudge, compassion, which I would define as unconditional love, is central to a Jedi's life. So you might say we are encouraged to love. Thank you, Mr. Fudge. That one has also been brought up because it's very powerful. Father Jimmy, building machines, how perverse. That is from C-3PO during that sequence towards the end of Geonosis. Why am I having a hard time saying Geonosis? I don't know. But that is one that people who say, hey, this is like a video game. Yeah, kind of. But it was still cool. It was still fun to watch. And it's inspired a lot of great ideas, I think, for people over the years when it comes to creating their own stories. Number 2, truly wonderful the mind of a child is. This has been brought up a couple of times, but as a parent and a teacher, it's very cool to me to see this one because it's true. We were all kids at some point. Some of you are kids now, and that's wonderful because there's just a wonderful innocent simplicity and wisdom in the mind of a child. And Yoda, of course, almost is childlike when he says it, which is great. Number 3 for Burnt Waffle was I love democracy, I love the republic. Ironic. Number 2 for Darren, why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Adam has got the Django quote, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. Number 2 for Mary, I call it aggressive negotiations. That is from our friend Padme. Love it. Number 2 for Terry from 3PO. Die, Jedi dogs. Oh, what did I say? That one has not come up yet. That one is funny. Liberties 2, the day we stop believing that democracy can work, it's the day that we lose it. That is from the Queen of Naboo. Excellent quote that has not come up yet. And Brian's number 2 is compassion, which I would define as unconditional love, is central to a Jedi's life. So you might say we are encouraged to love. That is Anakin Skywalker. Brian, that is number 2 for Brian. Number two for Mr. Fudge is I don't want to sell you death sticks. That hasn't come up yet. Number 2 for Jason, possibly. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I find myself using this one a lot. A one-word quote. I love it. So Father Jimmy is adding the compassion, unconditional love. We encourage love, but he's adding the beginning of that, which says attachment is forbidden, possession is forbidden. So that's kind of fully fleshes out that entire quote itself. Now, let's get to our top quote from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Everything got kind of clouded, jumbled up here because I ran out of room. But I like the line, why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me, from Obi-Wan to Anakin. Every time, when I saw it in theaters the first time, I giggled and gasped because I'm like, whoa, what an awesome, ironic line. Again, dramatic irony. When the audience knows more than the people on screen or on stage or in the book know, because they know what's going to happen. And I think that's one of the most clever uses of dramatic irony in fiction. I loved it the first time I saw it. I love it every time I see it. It's just really smart. It's a great little wink at the audience. But also we know that it's serious. Number 1 for Darren is I call it aggressive negotiations. Yes, yes, yes. Number 1 for Adam, this weapon is your life. Obi-Wan Kenobi about the lightsaber. Mary's number 1, lost the planet Master Obi-Wan has. How embarrassing. Find it, we will try. I love that that's your first one. That's funny. Burnt Waffles number 2 was good job from Obi-Wan. I like that one too. Oh, I love that one. Mason and I say that one all the time. I'm here to rescue, Master. And he looks down. He looks up. Good job. Well, it's really not because they're both trapped. Great. Number 1 for Liberty. Why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me? Just like my number 1 has been mentioned a few times. Great ironic stuff. Terry's number 1. I have to admit that without the clones would not have been a victory. And then Yoda has this great line. Victory, victory, you say? Master Obi-Wan, not victory. The shroud of the dark side has fallen. Begun the Clone War has. Fleshing out that entire powerful quote. Jason's number 1. Truly wonderful the mind of a child is. From Yoda, he says, enough said. I agree. So good. Anakin's number Mr. Fudge is number 1. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. It gets everywhere. I thought that was going to be all over this list. You're the only one to bring it up. I didn't expect that. All right, right on. Number 1 for Brian. All mentors have a way of seeing more of our faults than we would like. That's the only way we grow. It's very true and can be painful, but in a good way. Because it helps you, like is said by Padme, to grow. Number 1 for Burnt Waffles. Same as many of us. Why do we get the feeling you're going to be the death of me, from Obi-Wan? And Father Jimmy has the same one that Terry has about this isn't victory. The shroud of the dark side has fallen. Begun the Clone War has. Very powerful stuff. Well, I can't think of a better transition. First of all, thank you, everybody, for spending your time here and for sharing these. So good. Again, my least favorite of the prequels, but I still love it, and it's the one I watch the most because it's very quotable. It's got a lot of great lines in it, and just a lot of awesome stuff. But when you want something powerful, look no further than next week Top 5 Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith quotes. For many of you, especially of a certain generation, this is your favorite one. And boy, oh boy, is it a powerful, powerful one. We've got some honorable mentions. Mary's got when Anakin asks where Padme is when they are chained to the poles of Geonosis. Sullivan says she's on top of it. I laugh every time I watch this part. Terry, for those who participate through the live broadcast on YouTube, we can't see your quotes until Dan shows them, but we really appreciate and love them. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Terry. When they pop up, if they pop up, I'll post them here for sure. Because some of you are watching this from Facebook, from Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook page, and some of you are watching from YouTube. Liberty's honorable mention, the mentor line that has been mentioned. Great quote. It's so good. Next week's will be really hard. There's a lot of them. It's going to be hard. As Mary says, it's going to be hard to just have 5. I know. And one of the hardest parts about writing is subtracting, not adding. So this will be a good challenge for all of you. It'll be a good challenge for me too. Let's go in and jump into Ask Dan Z. All right, the number one question I always get is, hey, what's going on with the cruise? You know, I'm still waiting for Disney to release dates for summer 2025. If you happen to be on the Disney Cruise website and you just look and you see summer dates, then send me an email or text message or call me or send me an owl or whatever you need to do so that I can jump on and check it out too. Because we're on it and we're monitoring it, but it's very possible that something will happen we don't know about. But so if you see it, let me know. Remember, the summer of 2025, the Coffee with Kenobi and Mouse from Travel, we're going on the Disney Wish. We want you to join us. It's going to be amazing. There's the Hyperspace Lounge, lots of Star Wars fun and family stuff. All right, let's see. We've got some questions here. What's my favorite part about Seaman of Star Wars? I think my favorite thing about Seaman of Star Wars is my favorite thing about a lot of this kind of stuff. It's community. It's spending time with friends under the umbrella of Star Wars, but just having fun. It's seeing people excited. I love that. Do any of the Steam attendees dress up in any type of cosplay? A lot of people do. I'm going to have some cosplay too, in fact. I'm looking forward to it. Father Jimmy just finished The Eye of Darkness. What do you think I should read next? You did just read The Eye of Darkness. So you've read all of the books of the High Republic. Is that right, Father Jimmy? I still think if you haven't read all the High Republic, then you got to go to the beginning. But if not, I think a great place to start, and it depends on kind of where you're at and which era is your favorite. But I think Bloodline by Claudia Gray is awesome. It's the book that shows what happens when the galaxy finds out that Leia Organa is the daughter of Darth Vader. And it's also the beginnings of the First Order and the Resistance, and it's amazing. Written by Claudia Gray. That was going to be my question. What is the date for the cruise? As soon as I know, I will let you know. Disney's schedule is up to the end of May 2025. Just waiting for June and afterwards. That's what I thought. Well, keep me posted, Terry. If you find out anything, please. That'd be great. What book is the first book of the High Republic? It is Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Definitely a book that I highly, highly recommend. Okay. So, speaking of Steam, I want to throw that up here again in case you missed it. Where do we go here? Yeah, there we go. Sorry, just doing, it's, chewing gum, walking at the same time, pushing buttons, or doing a live show. Doesn't always work as good as I wish it did. So, don't forget, if you're in the area, Saturday, January 20th is Steam into Star Wars from 9:30 to 2:30. From 1 to 1:40, I'll be doing CWK Live. There'll be live podcasts all day, including Hyperion Hub, Roll Base Card Podcast, Album Cockpit Podcast. It's going to be a blast. We'd love to see you there. So many fun things going on. And speaking of things going on, if you are thinking about going to Walt Disney World this summer, actually from July 1st to September 30th, Disney Plus subscribers get a free dining plan. That's so much food for free just by being a Disney Plus subscriber. Go to mousefantravel.com/Disney Dining Plan or coffeewithkenobi.com/Disney Dining Plan to find out more about that. It's going to be an amazing time, honestly. Liberty liked the book Brotherhood. I was going to recommend that as well. It's awesome by Mike Chen. Don't sleep on the young adult and youth books for High Republic. They're also very good. Yes, there's some great ones. Daniel Jose Older. So many great authors writing on that one. And Kevin Scott, of course, too. Thank you so much, everybody. What is my deal with these screens? Okay. Next Tuesday, we're going to look at your top five quotes from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I've got some more author interviews coming your way over the next couple of weeks on Coffee with Kenobi on CWK Live. We did part 1 of season 2 of Disney's What If. I think that's the screen I've got there. No, it is not. How about that? Well, trust me, it's What If, season 2, episodes 1 to 5. It was a blast. Hope you will enjoy it. Best of luck on Steam Stars. Thank you, Father Jimmy. Thanks to all of you for joining me each and every week on CWK Live, whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube or listen to the audio podcast later. We appreciate you, and thank you so much for joining us and helping to foster this great community. If you are on Facebook and you like Facebook groups, please go to the CWK Cafe. CWK Cafe, it's coffeewithkenobi.com/community is the easiest way to find it. That's where you can get family-friendly, spoiler-free Star Wars conversation from all of us here and many other people as well. Brian, great to be back with you. Thank you so much. Good luck on Saturday. Thank you so much. Mary, stay safe and warm too. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Liberty. Thank you, Jason, Father Jimmy. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you. Darren and Sons, thank you so much. You all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Hopefully, I'll see you on Saturday at Steam and Star Wars. Remember, this is the live podcast you're looking for. Thanks again, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.